Scams. They're costing us big time. Australians are being ripped off to the tune of more than $630 million every year. Wow! Last year, 350,000 scams were reported, covering email and investment scams and identity theft. I mean, who would do that? Come on! Also, dating and romance scams, which isn't so romantic, you feel me? Now, sit back, keep your eyes on your wallet, and let's make a mockery of these top Australian comic legends who have all been ripped off. On tonight's show, we have Akmal Saleh, Gary Eck, Jimeoin, and Umbilical brother David Collins. And now, your host and scams expert, Tiny.
So there was one going around about 20 years ago where it was a penis enlargement. It was 100% guaranteed. You sent them $49.95 and they sent you back a package, and in the package was a magnifying glass. Pretty simple scam. Our first guest is Akmal, who over the last 20 odd years, he's been scammed dozens of times.
As you know, Tiny, I've been scammed quite a bit on a regular basis.
That's why you're sitting right next to me, because
right.
you've got the most stories.
I've got the most stories, and I can't afford therapy. And so I'm here, and I can pick out of maybe 20 different times that I've been scammed, but I'll tell you this one because my friends here have not heard it. These are our guests tonight, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
We can do that later. We'll do that later. No, look, many years ago, me and my friend Gary and Anthony were in Edinburgh Festival. I think you guys were there as well, the Umbilical brothers. Many years ago, I still had hair then, and but I was still very naive. And
Somebody scammed you out of your hair?
Yeah.
And me as well.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
The Jamaican guy, bald Jamaican guy, who's no longer bald. And now I don't know how he did it.
He's got 2 sets of hair now.
He used it as pubic hair.
Which one did he use?
Well, mine was thinning, so
okay.
anyway. So
Yes.
I don't know where that went, to be honest.
I feel really dumb because it was so obvious now when I look back. And I went to London after the Edinburgh Festival because I hadn't been there before. I wanted to, experience the city of London, and I organised a gig at a place called Junglers, which was in Camden, which is not far from London. But I had a few hours to kill. And I didn't know anyone in London. I thought I'll just go and explore. And I went to Piccadilly Circus, and I went to see all the monuments and landmarks and suddenly, and I didn't mean to do this, I found myself in Soho, which is the King's Cross of London. But I didn't know.
Yeah,
I
sure.
swear I didn't. No, there was no. It's not like
The Google map didn't tell you it was.
No, this is before Google Map. This is a long time ago, before electricity. I saw this really beautiful old pub. It looked like sandstone. I thought I'm gonna settle down, have a drink. I went down. There was no one in the room. In the pub, and I sat down, and within 30 seconds, these 2 girls show up, and they're really attractive. And now I should have known because the place is empty, and they came to my table and said, "Do you mind if we join you?" And I said, "Yeah." And they started complimenting me and saying, "Oh, you got really nice skin, and well, you got beautiful eyes. Are you from Morocco?" I said, "No, from Egypt." "Oh, Egypt, we love guys from Egypt." And because we know the guy, you're so nice. And
Did they comment on your hair, your lovely, lustrous hair that you
Well,
had back then?
He'd already lost that in the scam.
Lost it in Edinburgh.
And he was much taller, so he lost his height, his hair, and remember that?
Yeah. I used to be Swedish.
Well, why wouldn't they want to come and speak to you, mate? Come on.
Don't put yourself down.
But look, they were basically.
It was a strip club, so I guess.
What?
Well,
Was it a strip club? You said it was a bar.
No, it didn't look like it was a bar. It was just
Hang on, what was it, a bar or a strip club?
No, it was a bar.
Okay.
Well, as far as I know, it was a bar. It was during the day,
Well,
right?
no, bar, strip club, they're 2 completely different things.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Well, it turns out, and they're saying things like, but they're saying that you've got lovely eyes. You got like that. You've got that. Follow me to the bedroom eyes, and not once did I think to myself, you know, I've never been told that before ever, and maybe they're scamming me. I thought, no, my brain said, you do have pretty eyes.
You do.
It's just that people haven't appreciated it till this moment right here. And so they said, can we buy you a drink? And I said, no, I'll pay for the drinks, girls. You leave this to me. And they ordered 2 cocktails, and I ordered a Coke. So the guy brings in the drinks, and they're talking and saying, and they were saying things like that no girls ever said to me in my entire life. They say, you know, we don't like guys in London. They're just jerks. But London's a big town. You couldn't have met everyone. She goes, we've met everyone. They're all jerks. It's very rare that we meet someone like you, but we spend a lot of time by ourselves. And sometimes, I swear, she goes, when we're bored, we give each other massages. And I like to be completely nude because, you know, people give massages and they've got clothes on. It's just boring, you know. And I'm thinking,
Jackpot.
is this the best day of my life?
But you know what, Akmal? That's what they were thinking as well.
I'm thinking, I think maybe I've died and gone to heaven. This is heaven. I'm thinking and I'm almost trying not to smile so I don't look too desperate. But then I had this gig organised at Junglers that was about to start in an hour or so, and so I said, look, I'm getting anxious about it. I said, should I cancel the gig? This is a chance that it may never happen again for the rest of my life. And I said, look, I've got this gig in Camden. I'll go and get a cab. It's not far, and I'll come back straight away. Will you still be here? And we'll party. And she said, yeah, that's great. That's fine. But first you have to kind of take care of the bill. And I said, yeah, 3 drinks. It's no problem. And then she writes something. She gives me a bill. And at first it looked like £36, but I looked closely and it's £360. What? 360 English pounds. What is that in Australia?
$7.20.
Wow, that's not pretty. It's £360 for 3 drinks. And she goes, no, it's for our time. I said, what do you mean for your time? What are you talking about? And she said, you know, it's so much an hour. And I said, but no, I'm not paying that. I'm sorry, I don't have the money. And suddenly, this guy shows up. He must have just been behind the curtain. And he comes out, and he looked like, you know the guy from The Prodigy?
Yes.
You know the guy with the hair, but he looked like him, but...
Before he was dead? Before he died?
Maybe.
Maybe before he died, for sure. Yeah. And but he looked mean.
Maybe it was him. He's English, isn't he?
Yeah.
Timing's
and
right.
they didn't do well towards the end of their career, so maybe he was pimping as well. But he comes up and he was so calm, you know, like he was so calm but menacing. So he comes out, he goes, "Hello, sunshine. What's going on here? Now, mate, you've got to pay your bills. You know, it's a law." And I said, listen, I don't have that money. I'm not paying it. I'll pay for the drinks, but not. And he goes, and he's talking very calmly to me. You know, you're an intelligent person. You know that it would be very difficult for you to walk out here with no legs. I said, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And I just took the card out. I paid by card, 300, and I walked, and it turns out there were. And now, you know, now when a girl compliments me, I'm thinking, fuck, how much is this going to cost? How much is this going to... Where's the prodigy guy? I don't accept compliments anymore. I've become very wary. You know?
Expensive compliment.
What have I learned is that I don't have come to the bedroom eyes. I've got
Sucker eyes.
come and fleece me. I've got excess cash that I need you to relieve me of.
So with Akmal, what happened was he was thinking down there and not up there. So all the blood went from there down to there, and you can't think straight.
It's usually down there. Sometimes it goes up.
Is it? At
But
what
very
point,
rarely.
At what point didn't you realise that 2 gorgeous-looking women for a 5'1", you 5'1"?
I'm 5'4", thank you very much.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, for a 5'4" Egyptian guy waiting for a threesome.
I will pretend I didn't hear that because that sounded insulting. But look, they seemed convincing and they were genuine. And I thought maybe I'm exotic in London.
Okay.
Maybe, you know, I didn't really realize it's a scam till the Prodigy guy came out and offered to break my legs. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I'm not getting any.
It sounded to me like he was going to tear your legs off. He said leave without your legs.
Yeah,
I think he was going to keep your legs.
Like a
and
doll.
just put you-
Yeah. So when you bring the money, we'll give you back these.
And then they had other people's legs on the walls mounted.
Yeah,
It's a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah, with name
Yeah,
tags.
Jem came here.
Don't feel too bad. It's been happening for a couple of 100 years. So they're getting better and better at it.
Yeah,
So,
but you know, but syphilis has been with us for 200 years, so I don't know how.
How do you,
A lot of
how do you
things that have
actually
been
help
around
this
for
guy?
you know, just because it's been around for 200 years, it doesn't make me feel any better. I just feel like I've been scammed.
Guys, what I'm about to show you, scammers don't want you to know. The greatest trick ever for scammers. There's 52 cards in the deck, correct?
Correct.
There's red and black. Choose one of those.
Black.
That leaves red, doesn't it?
Yes, that leaves red.
In the red, you've got hearts and you've got diamonds. Choose one of those, hearts or diamonds.
Diamonds.
Diamonds. That leaves hearts, doesn't it?
That leaves hearts. Yes.
So what we've got is we've got numbered cards and we've got pictured cards. Choose one of those, numbered or pictured.
Pictured.
Pictured. In the picture, we got Jack, King, Queen. Choose one of those for me.
Jack.
Jack. We got the Jack,
Jack
of
of
Hearts.
hearts.
So all it is just any
You're a
scammer.
witch.
Sorcery! Sorcery! Burn him!
How did you do that? No, so basically you manipulated
All
the
scammers manipulate where they want you to get to. So if it's
So you think you've come up with that, but in fact...
that's right. If I want you to get to the 7 because that's the scam I'm running, I'll ask you questions to get
Leaning towards that.
leaning towards that.
You're very good.
No, it's basic sales. So
Either you're very good or I'm very stupid.
Okay, well, let's end the show there. I think we know where that one is.
Look, unfortunately in Australia, there's over $500 million being scammed a year, and that's only the stuff that's reported. So I believe there's at least 4 or 5 times that, which averages $2,000-3,000 per person in Australia. There was over 100,000 reports of scams last year. Imagine how many people are too embarrassed to come forward. That'd be at least 500,000 Aussies got scammed. All I'm saying is that be wary, and a lot of the times people will not ring somebody for advice. Call a mate. If you think it's too good to be true, it normally isn't. All right. We've got the legendary Jimeoin, who I can't believe is one of the guys on this panel who got scammed.
Who would have thought an Irish person would get scammed? That's never happened before.
Mate, that's unbelievable.
That's a bit racist, I think. Yeah, I got scammed by a black guy called Akmal.
Yeah.
To do this show, you mean? Yeah.
Yes. Watch out for those darkies.
I've been scammed, a number of times. When I got married,
Okay, that's the end of the story.
a couple of comics, had a comic wanting to borrow $50 off me, and he kept scratching quite a bit, and I go, where's your wallet? And he goes, well, I've left it backstage. And I kept thinking, well, that's not really that far, we're only at the bar. We can go and get it. But I never feel that money ever again.
Which one was it?
We all know who it was.
We all know who it was. Yes.
He only got me for 20.
I suppose the biggest one I got was when I was in 1991, I think, something like that. After being in Australia, I went to New York. I went to back to Ireland, and then I came back to Australia via New York. And I was staying in Alphabet City at the time, which wasn't really a very nice part of New York. It was on the island, but it wasn't very nice. But I was staying in a hostel, and I had traveller's checks, and I didn't really want to carry them around with me because I was told you're staying in an area where people get mugged. And one night after a bar, that's exactly what happened. I got beaten up a little bit by these guys who took my wallet off me. But I didn't. I had cash in the wallet, and I had a few other things, but I didn't have any of my traveller's checks, thankfully. But where I was staying, I had the number of the place I was staying and the address written down as this is the place where I'm staying, and I had written that on a piece of paper. So anyway, the next day I got a phone call from the police to say that they had found my wallet, and if I wanted to come and get it, and get it. And I thought, brilliant. And so they said, can you bring some form of identification? Passport down. And I got to the address and I thought, this doesn't look like a police station. And I was kind of looking up. And there's these guys again. And
No way! That's funny.
they got the ID off me, so then they had everything. So, yeah. That's my scam.
In the last 30 years, right, I've helped hundreds of people. Sorry, mate. You got no luck with me this time.
I was told it was a place, there's always in hindsight with these things, you can see where you've gone wrong.
Yeah.
So a few years ago, there was a coin collecting scam where you'd send $14.95 in and they promised you a coin with a queen's head on it. They send you back a 10-cent coin. All right, Gary, let's hear your story.
Yeah, so many years ago I went to Morocco. My sister was working there for Discovery Channel as a publicist, and they were doing this big eco challenge tournament. And she said, why don't you just come over and just hang out in Marrakesh for a couple of weeks? It'd be really fun.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, oh, well, this would be great. So I went over and, just hanging out in Marrakesh. I kind of got very comfortable with the city because I was walking around and started to see familiar faces. And I started doing little excursions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And these two girls came up to me and said, wow, you have beautiful Aussie eyes. Are you from Australia? Yeah. And then I let them break my legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Moroccan prodigy guy came up. You want to leave? It's more African. Really.
It was more African.
Yeah.
But, no, so I started doing these little side excursions, and I went to this little little town just outside Marrakesh. And
You'd blend it right in with the Moroccans.
they wouldn't. I did not stand out at all. It was like, hey, gane loco,
Hashish? You want hashish? Bakshish?
And anyway, I get off this bus, this old rickety bus, and this guy, he's only young, good-looking guy, comes up and he's like, oh, what can I can do the accent because you're here. Can I do the accent?
Yeah, go.
He's like, hello, welcome to my village. May I show you around? Let me show you around. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. Actually, I'm fine. Good. No, go over here, and he's there. And I was like, hello, my uncle built this house. These hands there, very nice house.
My uncle is for sale.
He's in the house there. He's made of the house. He's inside the chimney there. And I'm like, oh no, good. Because I'm aware this guy's trying to kind of, hustle, get some
Because
money.
Gary is probably one of my more astute friends. Like, it's very hard to rip him off.
Well, this is the thing. My alarm bells are ringing straight away. I'm going, okay, this guy's trying to muscle in. But his trick was he just didn't leave me. So every guy looking fine, and then he'd be on this side. I'm like, Jesus, man. This one over here's a church. I'm like, and then I just sort of gave in after a while. Let's go, whatever. And I just started following him.
You followed him.
I'm following him.
I'm sure you're around. This is my uncle, George.
Oh, what else have you got? And he started taking me around the village. And to be honest, it was actually quite fun. He was showing me around. And it was one of the, and this I was aware of because I've been to Turkey as well, where they start, they happen to go past their cousin's pottery shop, and and this was a little side scam. I got double scam, but this was just a little side scam.
That was a warm up.
That was a warm up. Yeah. He takes me to his cousin's pottery shop, and it just so happened I wanted to get one of these tagine pots. They make you cook chicken. They're the Moroccan tagine pots. They're really cool. And I said, they make them here. And the guy says, my brother, my cousin, my uncle, whatever it was, they make them here. I said, wow, you know what? I wanted to get my name on the bottom of that. Do you think they could make one? And because they had these ovens, definitely make one for sure, definitely. And I said, look, I wrote down my name because I wanted to put my name on the bottom.
On your bottom?
On my bottom, yes. So I pulled my pants down, and then I realized, wait a minute, that prodigy guy's back. And and the guy goes, yeah. And he said, look, we'll pick it up on the way back because we didn't have time. because I thought they were going to make it, right? And so I'll get back to that story in a second. Anyway, so we start walking around the village. It's a really beautiful village, and he's making comments like, which I should have picked up on as well. You fit strong, like to box. You like boxing, running. You like running. You like to run. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. He's kind of complimenting me along the way.
You got strong back.
Strong back. He was like muscle.
Like to do massage with oil.
With oil.
Moroccan oil.
No, but he wasn't going that way, right? He wasn't. See, your mind's twisted and goes that way. But he was sussing me out in other ways because, as you'll see in the end, right? And I was like, yeah, I do it for the gym work, run. No, I'm not really into boxing, to be honest. But and we went around the village, and he goes, let's go pick up the pot. I want to get back to the pot. All they've done in biro is written my name on the bottom of the same pot. And they must have thought, how dumb is this guy? He can't even write his own name on a pot.
They did put it back in the kiln afterwards.
Yeah,
They wrote it.
What kiln? There was no kiln. They just grabbed the pot and went, this guy's stupid. So he wrote my name in biro.
Just so no one else steals it. You know, in the backpackers. Oh, that's getting
eggs. Oh, that's one. Oh, it's got chicken there already.
You're the only one who went to Morocco and bought pot that was actually a pot.
That's true, actually. I never thought of it like that. A bit square. And anyway, I kind of laughed at that because I thought, that's pretty funny. And anyway, we started going, it was getting darker, late evening. And he says to me, look, I had a good time, fun. I'd love to bring you to my family, to have dinner, some drinks. Just be saying, thank you for coming to my village. I said, oh look, I should probably go back. He said, no, please, And I need to borrow a bit of money just to buy the drinks. And I said, oh, I don't actually have any money. I'm sorry, but ATM just here.
So what are you going to do, John? You've got to make a choice here.
Fate is predetermined. Destiny is determined by the choices we make.
How's my little angel?
I love you. Things looking good, hey? Daddy loves you.
Look left. Do you see this spot? It's what we call a pteroid rhabdoid tumour.
A tumour? How long have I got?
10 years. There may be one potential treatment.
Anything. I'll do anything.
It seems that by placing a patient in an induced coma, we're able to slow the growth of a tumour to the point where it shrinks to nothing.
I'm scared.
In your case, taking into account the mass of the tumour, 25 years.
I'm not just gonna bail out on you.
If you died in 10 years, you would be bailing out.
You'd be asleep for a quarter of a century.
I'd miss the best years of my life.
You wouldn't be there for birthdays, Christmas. It's terrifying.
If it was me, I couldn't leave them on their own.
I am very clear about everything that I'd miss, and thank you very much.
Easy. Jeez, you're asking the wrong man, love.
I'm happy to put the hard yards in if it means keeping you alive. Because I know when she's old enough, she's going to realise how lucky she is to still have you alive.
If you go under and you're waking up to a full-grown woman, she wouldn't even know you.
Do you ever question how in control we actually are and how much of life is predetermined? Where you're born, who raises you,
I want to be alone!
what kind of person you'll become through it all.
The tumour was fate, but choosing to stay alive is destiny.
Nobody should have to make that choice. Leaving the love of your life and your daughter for 25 years or help raise her and say goodbye in 10.
I know what I have to do.
What would you do?
And I said, oh, I don't actually have any money. I'm sorry. But ATM just here. And sure enough, there's an ATM, right? Yeah. I said, look, just...
They probably had some guy carry the ATM, bro.
Keep following him.
The guy, keep following him. In the cardboard box, he's just some guy dressed as an ATM.
Look, there's an ATM.
Hello, how are you? It's a talking ATM. What are the chances, huh?
Yeah, only in Morocco.
And even then I'm like, look, it says... And he goes, just the shop, I just go into the shop is here, you come with me, the shop, just there. It's pointing to the shop. And I'm like, ATM, shop. I thought, you know what, this guy's taking me around all day.
Yeah.
I'll give him
That's
50.
fair enough.
I'll take $50, which was US $50. And I'll go in with the shop and I'll watch him buy the stuff. And then, you know, I can't, it's not, I won't, even my brain's going, you know, I can't be had. And so I get the money out and I give him the money. And he goes, thank you, come into the shop. And it's one of those moments where he turns and then he just... he just runs, and I'm holding the pot.
You hold this?
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck! And then I ran.
Great technique.
It was run. It was so comical and unexpected. There was no elaborate scam. It was just... And then I ran around the corner and I was like, and I said to these two guys, I said, did you see a guy who's, you know, got this in there? And they both pointed in different directions.
My cousins.
And then, the story doesn't stop there. And then I was like, I was really pissed off. And I went back into Marrakesh and my brother-in-law was there. And I told him, he said, man, you should go down to the police station. You should report that. You know, and I said, yeah, I should.
Don't tell me the police scammed you.
Yeah. Give me 50. Do you want to buy pot? I got my
special police pot.
Constable will make a pot. $2,000 later.
What's your name?
Constable. But I actually went down there and I said, look, you know, I got scammed. This guy took my money and he just ran. And he's like, yes. And he brings out this folder of photos. He says, do you recognize him here? And I'm like, wow. And I go through and there's like all these photos of shots. And they're actually...
Marrakesh's book of scams.
Relatives.
There was so many, and I recognized so many people, and they were nice shots as well. It's like, was available Monday to Tuesday for your ultimate scam. And I was like, oh my God, that's the guy I saw the other day. But, you know, and then I saw
it's available for scamming. Weekends only.
Thrifty fingers. Wow, I might get the thrifty fingers, and I'll get one. And then I saw the guy. I said, "Oh my God, that's the guy." And they go, yeah. And I said, "Yeah." I said, and he goes, "What?" I said, "What happens?" He said, "Well, you know, we'll pick him up, bring him back, he press charges." I said, "Well, and then what happens?" He goes to jail. I said, "Jail?" The guy in jail. He says, "Look, give me $100." But I kind of backed out. I said, "Oh, what am I doing? This is kind of, I don't want to send some guy to jail, which he probably would never have gone to jail." But, I mean, you probably have a lot to say about that. Is that that was a kind of like a very gradual, elaborate scam.
I mean, you're very, very lucky you only got done for $50. The other reason, you know why they call them cousins and brothers? You like this guy. After a couple of hours, you liked him. Yeah. So all of a sudden, his family, you're helping his family out.
Yeah.
That's
right.
why you'll spend. And that's why they always use it. My cousin, my brother, my sister, you know, all that sort of stuff.
And so that's exactly what he was doing, because I think he was introducing me to his family.
That's right.
So at the end when he says, I want to have food, drinks with my family, my brain's going, you've just met his family earlier. That'd be a great idea. You know?
You want the whole, you know, like you're important to his family now. So you're taught in a jewellery shop. If somebody walks in and they want to see a 1 carat diamond, always check out what they're wearing on their feet. If they're wearing runners, don't put it in their hand. Right? So I used to have a part owner of a jewellery shop, and my jeweller knows that rule. And this young guy come in and said, "Oh look, I want an engagement ring, blah blah blah. I can spend $4,000, this, that, the other." And all of a sudden, he showed him the ring. What happened? Out the door. Right? And I said to Bishop, I said, did you check his shoes out? He went, yes.
Was he warming up before he walked in?
He was stretching outside.
Looking at a map going
that way or that way. So there's some really simple rules. If you're going to give somebody $50, see what they're wearing.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're just going to run.
Maybe that's why he was asking you, are you fit? Do you like to run?
Yes.
Do you think box? Do you think
It just occurred to me there.
I'm surprised you got it then. You're driving home.
It wasn't sexual after all.
So with Gary's scam, it was a very simple one. What happens is you're a tourist once again, you're having a good time, all of a sudden there's somebody just appears out of nowhere and wants to give you a hand. You know, you sort of say thank you, no thank you, but they're just persistent. And then after a while they just wear you down. It's kind of like kids. You know, when kids go to the shop with you and they ask for a lolly, it takes 9 times before finally you give in. So it's the same sort of principle. So he finally gave in, you know, he had a great time and he sort of knew what was happening, you know, but then, you know, I'm in a different country, it's a different culture, you know, he keeps saying, you know, my cousins, and because he actually got to like him and trust him, he ended up, you know, buying from his cousins and buying from, you know, his brother. So they use that instead of saying, look, I know a shopkeeper. If you say brother or cousin, you feel like you're helping the whole family out, and that's where the scam is. So at the end, when the guy did a runner, yeah, that was unbelievable, but that's what happens. Our next guest is David. Everybody knows him. He's the brother, the better one.
This is a very international show. My story is also from OS. Mm-hmm. We were in China doing a television show with kind of a Chinese, you know, one of their talent shows. You know, Chinese Got Talent. It was called Legendary Horsemen. Yes. That's just some, of course. Yeah, just some backstory. But during the day, Shane and I went out. We went to the Bund, where it's this beautiful. It was in Shanghai, and it was a beautiful day. And there was 1 million people out on the Bund, and we kind of got separated for a bit as we were taking photos.
1 million is just a small gathering.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, that was the one family. We're down there, and I kind of saw, and then I sort of finished off, and I kind of saw Shane, and Shane, these 2 people were asking Shane to take their photo, and it looked a bit sort of weird, and I thought, okay, I'll just leave that, and I'll just let that happen, and then wait to come back, and then they started talking, and oh no, here we go. Because Shane, one of the problems with Shane is he can't say goodbye to people. If you leave him at a party with somebody at the beginning of the party, he'll be with that person at the end of the party. He can't say goodbye. True, isn't it? He doesn't want to. Yeah, he doesn't want to upset anybody by saying goodbye. He's too nice. Yeah. Anyway, so he's there, and I thought, oh no, he's beckoning me over. Oh no, can I come over? There's one. So this chick's there. Alice was her name. It's Chinese. She's wearing sort of a business, kind of a business outfit. Didn't speak a word of English. She looked a bit like a Chinese Princess Leia. And the other guy was wearing he was quite tall, looked like Gareth from the original Office. But Chinese.
You were just watching an episode of The Office?
No. This was on the Bund in Shanghai, right?
Yeah, the Chinese woman called Alice. That didn't ring any bells?
Very tall Chinese guy.
Tall Chinese.
Alice. I've met a Chinese Alice before.
Have you?
Yeah. But Tony, that was weird.
He was Tony.
Tony was
Tony and Alice.
Tony. I've never met a Chinese Tony.
They do anglicise their names when they're about to rip you off, is what I'm...
I'm pretty sure they did. Surely bells are ringing with the Tony. Alice, I've definitely met a Chinese Alice. Tony, no way. But he was tall, and an ill-fitting suit. The suit was... I do remember thinking, he's either worn that for too many days, or it's not his, or he's...
Or he grew into it.
Or he hasn't grown into it. No, he was actually a bit... He was quite tall, but it actually was a bit larger than what it should be. But it did look like he was quite thin, and it looked a bit thicker. Anyway, it was I just remember kind of crinkly.
It wasn't his suit.
Yeah, kind of, almost. Anyway, and Shane was going, oh, hi, this is Tony and Alice. Oh, yeah, sure it is, okay. They want to take us to a tea ceremony. And
Alice in rip-off town.
and immediately in my head, I said, no. No, because I've never been scammed in my life. To my knowledge, I've never been scammed in my life. I mean, having said that, my father, when he was alive, he was 77, and he thought he'd never met a gay person in his life, ever. So, maybe I have been scammed.
Well, you haven't been paid for this show yet. You may
just wanted to meet you guys. That was it.
I've got great instincts. So in my head, I said no. I was saying no, and then I sort of turned to Shane and Tony and Alice, and I said, "No thanks, no thanks, no thanks." And Shane went, "Oh no, come on!" And then Shane, it's too nice. You go on. He didn't want to, and then Tony went, "Oh no, it's very quick." It's a very quick tea ceremony.
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh no, it's all right. I really wanted to make way." He said, "Yeah." And then Shane was going, "Oh no, come on." And Tony said, "It's just over there. It's just over there. It's just over there."
Yeah.
He's going, "Well, where is it?" It's just over there. It's just over there. I go, "Oh."
They're pointing in different directions.
Okay. All right, if it's quick and it's just over there.
You're
so
gone.
we walk, we walk in three.
Yes.
And so we
there.
and
Very quickly, we'll be able to take your money in no time. You'll be on your way.
And so we walk down there, and it looks kind of like a shopping mall from the side, but everything kind of looks like a big shopping mall in China. And we went through these doors, and very, very quickly we were in this sort of corridor of
Sliding doors.
Sliding up, those paper.
Yeah, those
paper doors.
From a Japanese guy.
Yeah, but it looked like a lot of them. Like it looked like the corridor from the end
Like
of.
Get Smart.
No,
Like,
I was thinking of Raiders of the Lost Ark. The last scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark. All of the you couldn't see the end of that thing, and I don't remember seeing any sort of opening and shutting. But we kind of came in and stood for a bit, and then Tony said, I'll work out which one we're going to," and then he sort of went that way, and we were left with Alice, and she wasn't saying much, and we were trying to say, and then Tony came back and he said, "Oh, it's this one," and it was like the first one, like it was right there, and then opened it up. And there were two very small sort of seats on either side. And we all sat on this side. So it was Alice, Tony, Shane and me sitting. And there was a table. And it was a very, very small room. Like you could only do that in the room. And then there was a... You could do that and that. And that's it. So we were all sort of sitting...
David actually does that.
No one else does.
No one else does that.
And Jesus, maybe.
We were all sort of kind of touching each other, and then in walks this chick, and she's got this what could only be described as a very cheap Halloween costume, the Chinese. Like if you were to dress up like a Chinese, like what you'd find in the reject shop, your sort of Chinese costume. If you want to dress up like a Chinese girl, and she had like a head thing that was here, and she looked like it kind of had a peacock.
I should say at this point that Dave has experimented with drugs.
Yes. I was going to it did like with him in the suit. He did that did look like an acid trip.
And was her name like Rachel?
She didn't speak a word of English, and I didn't get
melting?
to see. I don't know her name, but she did look like she had a flat peacock on her head, the thing that was on her head. And she came in, and her stuff was already over. It looked like it was too big for her as well. And she was holding a tray, sure enough, with different pots and things on it. And she started doing. The individual teas, and then we were trying them out, and I noticed that she had things written on her hand, and I thought that's a bit weird, and so I commented on it as you're reading off your hand, and she didn't know what I was saying, and then the guy said to her in Chinese that he's reading off your hand, and then she looked really awkward, like she'd been caught out, and then I didn't really sort of. But he kind of went, ha ha, and I kind of went, ha ha ha, and then she went, ha ha, went, ha ha. Okay, right.
And it was subtitled, didn't you?
Yeah. I'm about to rip the white man off. This is my first time.
You're about to lose your job, miss. Anyway, so she's showing us how to pour the individual teas differently. I guess you pour the teas differently, and we try the different teas. And then she left. And then he said, okay, I'll just go and I went, oh, well, that was fun. Thanks so much. And he went, oh, no, I've got to go and get the bill. The bill. And I went, oh, okay. But I thought, okay. And then he went out and he came back in with the bill and he said, "Oh, would you like to buy any of the teas?" And the bill came back and it was like it was close to $200 American each. And so Tony, why didn't I I should have just been your boss. As soon as I
you should have done that.
And I turned to Shane with Tony and Alice there, and I said, "We're being grifted." And Shane went, "Oh no!" Like true Shane floor, like no. And at that moment, I remember thinking, "I'll give up." Like I'll
just pay it.
Yeah, just pay it. That's what I thought. I thought, okay, we'll see how this goes. Because I didn't have money. I thought, so in my head, I go, okay, what do I do here? Okay, I don't need the tea. I don't need the teas. I'll just take the one of the tea. What is it then? And he goes back out again to talk to them, obviously to go back. I'm getting them down. Come back, and it's still about $100 American dollars. And I say, in my head, I go, okay.
You're bargaining down, getting ripped off.
Yeah. I said,
he did better than you guys.
I don't have that money, so what I'll do is, and they go, "Oh, but we only take cash." Is what I said. And I said, "Great, that's fantastic. I don't have that money. I'll go and I will get some money out and never come back." In my head.
Did I say that out loud or just think it?
So I say, "I'll go and get some. I'll go and get some." And as I'm saying that sentence, Shane goes, "Oh no, I'll pay for you. I'll pay for you, and you can pay me back next time." This is after I've told him to his face, "We're being grifted." So Shane paid the bill.
Did he actually? Did Shane?
He did. He fucking took. And not only that, but Shane had over $200 bloody American dollars on him.
It'd be interesting to ask Shane the story. It'd be a different version.
Yeah.
So I tried to tell Dave not to. He just was desperate. And
Oh no! I mean, in their defence, to this day, I may or may not know how to pour tea.
How many years ago was this?
2016.
2016. Well, you still remember their names, so you had a good experience.
you could probably still find them.
And they gave us email addresses.
Oh,
as
really?
Well. Yeah. I remember writing to that email and didn't get anything back. But,
I think you got off lightly. Yeah. I can tell you some stories.
Right. Well, it's a hospitality scam, and they're the innocent scams. Some are innocent scams that we can laugh at. Some cause us, like...
If you end up in a Turkish prison because of a scam, then you got off lightly.
But it's also you trust somebody who goes to that elaborate length.
Yeah,
like with mine, the guy spends the whole day with me, just for $50. And I go at the end, you go, you know what? You've got to applaud that.
It
would have cost me more to get a guide.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That was the irony.
You didn't really get ripped off in a way.
Well, you just got frustrated that you've been had. And everyone hates to be had. Like I don't mind paying extra for something, but no one likes to get ripped off.
So there's hundreds of travelling scams. A simple one is, let's say you're in Rome and you've jumped into a taxi. The taxi driver will try and distract you by showing you the Colosseum, the Vatican, but while you're looking at the Vatican, he's actually changed the amount that you owe. So they've got a little button and they'll change it by an extra €5. So the more times you get distracted, you end up with a €55 taxi bill and you haven't even realised it. Nowadays, there's over 50,000 people getting scammed online, especially online dating. This evening, we've got a special guest, Marie, and she's going to tell her story. Marie, let us know what happened to you.
Hi, guys. So my scam that happened about 6 months ago. So I was talking to somebody online for a couple of weeks. They wanted to meet up. Wasn't quite ready for that, so I thought, let's have a phone call. So I thought we'd just exchange numbers like normal people do. Not the case. This guy sent me a message and it had this link to go to this website to download this app, and it was supposed to be a bit like a FaceTime, a Skype type of thing. So. Okay, all right, I'll download this app. On the website, it had actually asked for your credit card number. That should have been like red flags just smacking me in the face, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So put in my details. I thought it might just do like...
Well, sorry to interrupt, but when you were exchanging numbers, maybe that's what he meant, your bank numbers.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Can I have your number? That's
Akmal needs a bit of money. So
can we swap numbers? BSB numbers.
MasterCard?
Yes.
I've downloaded this app. I'm on the website. I've put in my number, and I thought, it'll just cross-reference to the website, the dating site that I'm paid to be on. And as I'm doing that, I check my banking, and there's already a charge. Thanks, MasterCard. So I thought, oh no, what's going on? Started freaking out a little bit. I'm back on the page, the website, after checking my banking, and it's refreshed, and so it's charged me again. So in the space of like a couple of minutes, I've gone from talking to a person to signing up to this app to goodbye $120. Started freaking out, so I called my bank. It was 9 o'clock on a Sunday night. So they were laughing about it. We had a bit of a joke, and they said, look, there's nothing really you can do. You just have to write it out, wait for the pending to come off your account, and then, they'll go from there. So went back to messaging this guy, and I said what had happened, and surprise, surprise, he'd deleted all our messages and blocked me. So, yeah, wow, didn't get to talk to him. Don't actually know if it was a real person or not. It could have been a woman. I'm not really sure.
So the average scam that is a dating site runs into tens of thousands.
I think you got off lightly.
Yeah, you got off really lightly with it. If unsure, just call a friend and get their advice sometimes. It's as simple as that,
Someone you can trust, a friend. I've been ripped off by friends, Tiny, and cousins. You can't don't trust anyone, Marie. Don't trust anyone. This show may be a scam. While you're talking.
Is it?
Yeah, we've set all this up just to scam you.
They've taken your trampoline and left your child.
He would love that.
Yeah.
Thanks again for sharing your story. It was brilliant.
Thanks for listening.
So last year alone, $200 million was scammed from online dating. That's unbelievable. First rule is never send anybody any money, no matter what they say, whether they're sick, whether they need a plane ticket, whether they've just been, in a car accident, motorbike accident. It's simple rule. Don't send anybody any money. Rule number 2, face-to-face. Always try and meet them face-to-face. If you hear the phone screen is cracked and they can't FaceTime you and they can't Skype you, just leave. It's a lie. But look, if you're not sure, just call somebody or just do a simple test on them, like, are they after me for my money? Just say to them, in one sentence, look, the other day I lost, all my savings in super, hypothetically. See if they're still on the next day. You know what I mean? Look, it's really weird. If we're cooking a cake, we're going to ring up somebody and ask for advice about how many eggs are we going to put in the cake, yet we don't ask advice when somebody wants $10,000 the other side of the world. Most scams would be stopped if we just ask our friends for advice.